Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Coming to you live from our Lamar studio. This is our streaming because there is no building
without us teaming.
Oh, there you go. One day you won't cite us that full on our
Again, you gave me, I think, one more word. I think last time it was just us teaming. And
Nope.
then now you, okay. Well,
Nope.
all right, I'll change the notes up then.
Well, how are you, Hagen? How's this
I'm
lovely
doing
Wednesday treating you?
Swell. It is quite lovely here in Austin.
I know the weather cleared up.
I know. We got some guests here today. Not just our guest here, but like people from the Dallas office coming to visit. And
You know, I love VDC people. They're
Yeah.
my people.
yeah, your people.
Well, what has R&D been up to lately?
Well, I don't know if you've checked your inbox lately.
I don't check email.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing. I took a snip of
Oh.
the communications email. It's a nice PNG that I then printed and cut out around so it looked nice.
Mhm.
So that if Cesar focused on this, he could see this. But this is
Stop
the
moving
email. This is the email for the Hilti challenge that we have
Ooh,
going
what
on.
the Hilti challenge? Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Well, Hilti is a company.
What do they do?
They're a tools provider. That's what the email says right here. A construction tools provider.
Nice.
Great tools. Love them. Anywho, we are having a challenge to see how we can use robotics in construction.
Ooh.
And so we're trying to elicit ideas from everyone out there. And then Todd Wynn, he is going to take those ideas to Hilti and present them. Some of those winning ideas. I can't remember how many of those ideas. Maybe 3.
So what would you say is the asking question? Submit the best idea for what?
It's currently not on the email that I'm looking at, but how we can use robotics to be innovative in construction. That's kind of simply it. And we have 3 submissions thus far,
Ooh.
one of which I'm not sure if it's real or not. That's the coffee bot submitted by a Mr. James Donald Holmes. And then we have the BIM printed layout. That's
Ooh.
from VDC, from Vanessa Miller.
Miss Miller.
And then Autumn Wyatt in Precon, she had a 3D printing, bringing 3D printing into the commercial construction world.
So hey, clear this out with me and the audience.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know past challenges have been ranked by number of likes.
Mhm.
Is this one also going to be based on the number of likes you get?
You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes, it is, but we're not going to have the voting until later. I believe the voting is 1 second. Right after the challenge closes, which I believe is in May 1st. Submissions are due May 5th. There we go. So I believe on that next week, we might have a couple days of voting. So we'll release the voting to the crowds and they'll vote on which ones they like the best. And we have actually 3 prizes. So we have a grand
Ooh.
prize. That is the all expenses paid cruise through the Virgin voyage through the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you'd like to pronounce it. And then for the 2 runners up, I don't know. It's still a mystery.
I tell you this, if I win the challenge again, we can do a boys trip.
Really? If I win, we won't. So, but yeah, that's the Hilti challenge. So get submitting. You should have an email in your inbox. If not, you can go to the Innovation Station. I wrote down 3 ways. They're not on this piece of paper. I wrote down 3 ways you can navigate to the Innovation Station. Innovate.r/o.com.
Mm-hmm.
Then r/o.com. r-o.com/idea. There's a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully James is typing it in the chat right now. I can hear his little tippy typies. And then you can just go to the company apps page. So go to the internet, go to the company apps. You should see a little circle, the Better Way idea or Better Way symbol, logo, whatever you want to call it. And you click that. Take you to the Innovation Station.
If someone submits an idea, does it need to be complete whenever they submit it?
You know what? Person that's a disembodied voice that said that, yeah, it's no. So you can
Yes
so
or no?
because-
Please clarify for the
I
audience.
forgot his question exactly. But because voting
Are
doesn't
you sweating?
a little bit over here. Because voting is not open until May 5th, you can submit your idea and it still be kind of in a draft form, or you can just
Oh.
work on it and then save it as a draft. So either one works. So you can either save it as a draft and come back to it later, or you can just submit it and then edit it at any point before May 5th.
Good to know.
Yeah. So you don't have to have a full-fledged idea right now. If you want to get that idea out there, maybe spark some interest or get maybe some feedback from some others, if they're willing to just provide that feedback, you can do so.
Well, thank you for sharing. So if you have some free time, make sure you check out the challenge
Yeah.
and type away some ideas. There's some great prizes here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get those gears turning as
That's
the
right.
robots do. You
Oh
know?
my gosh, yes.
In other news,
Yes.
I know marketing has released a new marketing tracker. So it's a pretty sophisticated tool. if you want to access it, there's two sites you can go to. You can go to the SharePoint RO homepage SharePoint site and go to the marketing department on the left side menu, or you can go to the company apps and look for the marketing tracker app there. So this marketing request form is really just to ask whenever you need general marketing stuff, communications, graphics, branding, events, or even pursuits. So rather than email them personally, I think this is the new avenue they're choosing to
Blind approach.
to better track and better help the people out in an organized way.
Yeah, cool.
Again, so SharePoint, company apps, marketing tracker. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah.
Another marketing news, we actually have celebrity in our room right now because last week we received 3 marketing communication awards
Really?
in 3 categories: special events, brochures, and promotional campaign. Yeah, claps. I hear the claps. Yes, I hear the claps. And then Cesar Gonzalez actually helped us get this award for the SNPS awards. So Cesar is the big mastermind
What?
behind this. So he's blushing back there, but we appreciate our coworkers.
Can you explain that award a little bit more?
I would like Cesar to explain himself since he can access the mic. So Cesar,
Disembodied voice number 2?
take it away.
What exactly do you want me to explain? The actual
What is
it
the
was?
award? Can you explain explain the award to me as if I'm a 5-year-old?
They submitted something that I did and I got chosen. Basically what awards do. But no, it was a career fair kind of handout 5x8 that we gave to the students, but on that kind of postcard size sheet was a QR code that brought up the 22 Rio Torre student housing project, and it was interactive, bringing up, you could kind of click buttons that showed the architectural and structural models along with awards and information.
Dang.
Perfect.
I remember when he was working on it. That was pretty
I
snazzy.
got to use it and see it.
Wow.
So, pretty nifty. So, like I said, we got 3 other marketing awards.
That's pretty
Just
cool.
happy to share those, especially like I said, we have celebrity in the room. So,
Goodness.
congrats
So
again,
many
Cesar.
Yay, claps.
Small claps. And then lots of happening in RO.
There's a lot happening, yes.
Last event actually was sent out this morning is the RO Fiesta Medal Social Media Challenge. So I believe there's little medals. They're gonna be.
I was a model for it yesterday. You missed
I
it. No,
noticed.
you did not miss it. Yeah.
I saw it. But apparently you get a medal and then you have to. Can you explain the challenge?
No,
Since
not
you
at
were the
all.
model.
No, I just was the model. I don't know how to read. I'm a model.
If you need a medal, you can get it from the San Antonio office. And then the idea thing, you can just take pictures at places you go to just to kind of spread the goodwill of the medal. So again, if you need more information, check out the email that was sent out today by RO Communications.
Yep. There's a little guru card that it's linked there. You can see all the info about that challenge. I know that. I clicked on the guru card.
Oh, nice, but you didn't read it. Nice.
I did. There's a lot of information on there.
Well, excellent.
Great.
Anything else?
Well, I had so much fun with our Today in History last week that I thought I would do it again. It's really just for me so that when I go to trivia, I'll have more information in my head. So I'm just going to go through these quickly because I don't know how much people really like them, but I enjoyed them. A lot of space.
Hagen show.
It
We'll
is the
just
Hagen
leave
show.
it.
Right. It was just an RO thing over it. We can make that anyway. A lot of space things. So NASA today in 1981 launched the first shuttle, Columbia. And then actually in 1961, the cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, he was the first man in space. I don't know how to say his last name. I know Yuri, but he was the first man in space. And then FDR died in 1945 at 63. Sad. And then in 1861, some more sad things. The Civil War started.
This is to be a happy show. This is a family show, Hagen.
I guess I should have gone in the reverse chronological order there because, the exciting Columbia being launched, I guess, was the most important one. But those were kind of some huge events, right? I mean, a lot of things happened today in history.
No, there's lots of big events happening today.
I would say so. I had to write them down.
Make sure to bring this to my trivia night tonight.
Okay. Oh, you're going tonight?
Hey.
Are you going to be on my team?
No, you don't want me on your team.
Okay. Well,
I'll destroy your
we
team.
can't bring this in.
Well, thank you for sharing those fun facts.
Of course.
I do also enjoy them as well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
The audience does too.
Hopefully.
From the many reviews we get, people are raving about them. So,
All right. The many reviews.
speaking of great segments that we have in the show, we have the Around the World segment as
Around
well,
the
which
World.
seems to be getting some traction. I don't know if you wanted me to share one of your events this time, since last time I think we talked about one of mine.
Well, see, my ideas are kind of normal. Your projects are a lot more snazzy and cool. So I feel like
Sounds like you're describing me.
that's fair. Yeah. So I figure you should go. And if we get more time for others,
Excellent. Thank you,
okay,
Hagen.
go ahead.
So I think one of the cool projects happening actually in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is the Mukab. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. It's a Q-shaped skyscraper.
Cube-shaped skyscraper.
Skyscraper. It's supposed to be about 21 million square feet, and it can fit about 20 Empire State Building inside it,
Inside.
or equivalent in size.
That's humongous.
It is pretty big. You should check out online, Google it if you can. It looks like a cube, and you might be thinking, how does light enter this cube? Well,
How
they
does light
actually
in this
have
cube?
they have skylights that hopefully are gonna bring light in as well. So pretty neat. It's construction happening from now until maybe 2030. So it's still a couple of years away.
2030, they're gonna build something 20 times Empire State Building.
Apparently,
What, 7 years?
you know, a lot's gonna happen in 7 years.
Okay, yeah, hope so.
So we'll see how it goes. But make sure you check it out.
Isn't there something else really cool about it though? Because you showed it to me. You're missing out the key point inside, right?
Oh, the inside, you're right. The inside does have a what it seems to be a spiral tower with an immersive VR world around it. So it's supposed to be pretty innovative, futuristic. Make sure you check it out. Again, it's a Mukab cube-shaped skyscraper in Saudi Arabia. So that's being our
That's pretty neat.
building around the world segment.
Oh, we're just gonna end it like that. Okay.
Unless you had any other thoughts, sorry.
No, I didn't have any. That's it's just crazy. They're doing. I also got told by Josh Beck in your VDC group that they're also building something called the Line in Saudi Arabia, which is like also something you should look at. It's pretty crazy. It's a city in a line, a huge I don't know how long, but they're doing some crazy things out.
It's like a long commute. So
170 kilometers right here.
yes, that's one. You know how long that is in miles? Is there PhD?
Multiply it by 5/8. So I don't
Like
know.
50 something. I
Yeah.
got you. But you know, with long roads, it means there's a lot of safety involved in it because it's a big project.
Nice.
We need a lot of eyes on it. And speaking of safety,
Oh.
we actually, our guest today, we have AJ Alvarez.
Oh.
I haven't had the pleasure of working or meeting him really, but he's a great guy. He's coming all the way from San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken.
You are mistaken. I believe he came from College Station today.
Okay. Oh, do you
But
want to introduce him? Go ahead. You got it.
Anytime I can point out when you're wrong is a good time.
Great. Well, I'm eager because I think he's been in a row here less than a year, if I'm not mistaken. I am mistaken again.
Well, that's the exciting part. Is we're gonna learn so much about him in the next 45 minutes. So I was sitting there with him. And I was like, I could ask so many questions right now, but
You should
Why
have
would
so you
I-
can introduce him better than I'm doing right now.
well, that's fair.
Uh,
But I wanted to learn it live, right?
You wanted to learn, and I want to hear what he has to say. So without further ado, we have AJ Alvarez, who will jump in right after this commercial.
Yay, AJ.
Hey Joker, thank you for coming in and beta testing Iris. We really want to bring our heads together to get some sort of feedback.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy.
You were right about needing a space where we need to share the information of the ideas submitted.
See?
With Iris, not only can you see these core ideas, we can also view them all ranked next to each other.
And you didn't disappoint.
Let me tell you, the interns worked so hard on this, they were forced to eat cold breakfast tacos that were a week old.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
You can challenge scores now by simply providing a bit of information, and then our team will review it.
What would I do without you?
Well, we hope this can be a positive change.
There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Good. We didn't think you wanted to go back to suggestion boxes.
No.
I'm Batman.
It's a bad joke.
Man, just no time. I feel like the last couple of weeks we've used a different commercial. It's like 2.5 minutes long. We sit here. It's like, we got time to get cozy.
Yeah.
90 seconds this week. It was like over before I even knew it. Mr. AJ Alvarez,
Yeah.
welcome aboard. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Excited.
thanks for joining us. Coming from College Station and then Waco tomorrow, like you're all over the place. But
yeah. Moving around.
I suppose that's kind of normal for those in your role.
Yeah. We got there's not as much of us as there are job sites, so we do move around a lot. Yeah.
So for those that aren't familiar with you, what is your current role here?
Safety. I am a safety manager for our.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing safety for over a year now. I've been with the company since 2019 October, so it'll be 4 years. It's coming up. October.
Oh, nice, man. Congratulations. Slipped in just ahead of all that exciting world change we had going on March
like
2020.
Just a couple months before, well, I would say like maybe half a year before COVID started is when I joined, and then once COVID hit, everything started to change. Everything started to change, and it was crazy. But I mean, got through it. Here now, I'm happy to be here.
Man, talk about just trial by fire. Like you're somewhere, you're 6 months in, you're like, all right, I'm getting used to people. I'm getting used to
feel
how
of it,
things
and then
work.
all of a sudden everything changes.
Wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
Try again. So having been here for 4 years, what do you love about RO, AJ?
Man, a lot of things. I like being
You've got 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So take all the time you want.
Yeah,
I love hearing it.
Being in the field, getting to meet people out there, trying to find solutions to problems with people. You get to really connect, and that's the biggest thing for me is just being able to connect and get ideas and learn from people, see other people's point of view. I think that's changed my life in a lot of ways, even outside of work. So,
Really?
Yeah.
That's so. I'm intrigued. Who has been one of the more impactful people that you've met at RO and or in your personal life?
I mean, I really can't just give it to one person, because especially here within the company, there's been so many people, so many mentors and people to guide me. I'm young. I'm 22. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't guess that just by looking at me.
Did you start while you're still in high school?
I was 19 when I joined.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 19. So turning 23 in June. There were so many people that were willing to help me with even things that didn't have to do with work. Like when I first started, my foreman, Jonathan Lawson, we call him Ricky. I just was able to connect with him just by working, and then he started giving me advice about things outside of work. He helped me get my first credit card and helped me start building up my credit score. You know what I mean? It wasn't a family member or relative that did that. It was someone I met here, which is I was thinking about that, not too long ago, and it's kind of crazy, but I was appreciative of that, and that's kind of what I mean when it means a lot to me being able to connect with the people here and get to know them, and they get to know you and help you, and you learn a lot from them. So
That's awesome. I love hearing too that people are. I think that's just proof that further proof that the people at RO, like, they don't want to just like see you do well here.
Right.
It's not just like, show up to work and do well. It'd be like, no, like, you're a young human being. Let's start building your credit score. Let's set you up so that 5 years from now or whatever, you can actually go buy a house.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there at a bank trying to explain why you don't have a credit score or why it's, a 520 or whatever. Like, I didn't know. No one told me.
Yeah.
And now you're set back all those years. You have people really looking out for you as a human. It's definitely not something you find everywhere.
I'm grateful to have, ended up here because I feel like here, things like I'm able to meet people like that, and that's only going to benefit me in the future, I'm very grateful to be here.
So I know you said that you've been here for coming up on 4 years. You've been doing safety for about a year now. How did you end up in your current position in your safety role?
So before being in safety, I was part of the field crew. I was in the field for 2 years, a little over 2 years. I wanted opportunity. So I heard that there was an opening for a safety position, and I called our director of safety, Ross. I just asked him, what do I need to do to start that journey? What are my first steps? And caught me by surprise. He just asked me when I could start. So I was like, all right. I was like, all I had to do is make that call, and yeah, here I am.
Think you had any advocates helping you there?
I did, definitely. Yeah. My father was a big advocate. I mean, he told me, like, if I didn't hear from him that there was a position opening, because he wasn't, expecting me to go and call Rouse and do that, but if I didn't hear that, I wouldn't be in the position I am now. But once I did do that, call Rouse and let him know, and I told him, hey, like, I did this, like, he, pointed me in the right direction, gave me the best advice he could to, help me succeed in my role now. And I mean, I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Any chance you'd like to share who your father is?
Yeah, Amador Alvarez, as you can see, the last name. Yeah.
Shout out Amador. We love you. Thanks for getting AJ on board.
Yeah.
Definitely an asset.
Yeah.
That's it's funny because it's going back to the people and all that and caring about who's here. I don't know if I've ever worked somewhere, known anyone who works somewhere where there is as many family members working within a company, whether it be people that are married, sons, daughters, whatever. Like it's wild how many folks in RO say, oh yeah, I'm blood related to so-and-so.
Yeah. And I talked to a lot of other people that are like Seth Campbell. He's one of our safety managers out in Dallas, and his dad is the superintendent for us also. And that was a conversation I had with them as well. You know what I mean? Something that we could relate to. So it's cool. Like I'm not the only one, so I could talk to people about it.
You guys ever get together and just like have a group therapy session on like tolerating your father at work?
We've talked about it sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's different. We're not something that everybody can relate to. So it's cool to have, one person here or there to talk to about those kind of things.
Definitely. What was it about safety that was interesting, intriguing to you? What kind of pulled you into that whole realm from the field?
Being in the field, and a lot of people don't really think about it or see it, but I did. You come into a lot of situations where you're performing a task and you want to finish what you're doing. There's a job that needs to be done, but you don't know how to do it safely. And without the right person there, we were at a job in 22nd Rio, and there was a time where we didn't have a full-time safety there. So a lot of the times we didn't have that person to go to. So instead of asking about it, we just worked around it, and it wasn't always the safest way to do the job. So I think, being able to have someone on site all the time to go and ask those questions to is really beneficial, because when you're doing performer work and you take that risk of not doing it safely, I mean, you might get the job done, you might get it done quicker, but you're taking a risk, and there's a chance that you could get hurt. And it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but the chance is there. Eventually it'll happen. And at the end of the day, like, kind of what I tell all the field guys is, I mean, you come to work to provide for your family, you know what I mean, to do all that stuff. If you're not here to do that, if you hurt yourself at work, who's going to do those things? So that's the best way to look at it. And just being in the role, the biggest thing that I like it is just I think of myself as a tool for the people on the job site. Use me as a tool. If you have questions, come to me and ask me, because that's what I'm here to help. That's the biggest thing I like about my job is I like I'm getting paid to help people. That's how I think of it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You hit on a particular word there. I'm curious to hear, especially with your experience in the field. What kind of tools do you have as a safety manager? I mean, we know that a foreman might be out there with iPad, tape measure. Framer's going to be out there with a flat bar and a nail gun and stuff like that. But what are like some of the kind of tools of the trade of a safety manager?
I think the biggest thing is just two things. The knowledge is one. Being able to have the knowledge, all the regulations and you don't have to. A lot of people expect us to know every single thing in the OSHA regulations book. You're not going to, but the more you do know, I mean, the better. And with the situations out in the field, you learn a lot. So it's important to take away from those. And then the second thing is just being able to talk to people, having those communication skills. That's the biggest thing to me. Having a good approach to people, because the stereotype, like what people think when they think of safety, is, man, man, the safety guy is gonna come over here and tell me to put on my glasses, to put on my gloves. Like he's gonna come and get mad at us, and that's not how I think at all. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to be out there to help, and just making people like getting people to understand that. You know, that's a skill that I think you have to have as a safety. You know, the communication, just being able to get people to understand your point of view.
Sure, you're not out there as a disciplinarian. You're out there as an engagement supporter.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it, but I have heard a lot of stories like with other companies and things like, you know, safety guys just coming out and saying that's not right, we're shutting it down. You know what I mean? Or that's not right, get them kick off the job site. You know, and that's not I don't believe that's the right way for it to be done.
Well, I feel like I could always improve on my communication. Could you give me any tips there on how you found to effectively communicate with folks?
Just listening to people, listening to, you know, not just what they're saying, but their tone of voice. What kind of emotions are they expressing by what they're saying? You know what I mean? And just being able to react to that and knowing what to say based on those things. You know, that's how I learned.
Sure, you're only 22.
That's why.
No, that's beautiful. I couldn't agree more, and I think that's great advice and something we all can always do better.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've fallen into I'm guilty of it sitting here at times, right? Talking to people is I think I'm listening, like I'm listening to the words, but at the same time I'm thinking about like, oh, how does that connect to something else? Or what is interesting about that? What do people want to hear about that?
Yeah.
And I think it is so difficult, and just everyone benefits from that constant reminder of like, don't go there. Stay focused on what that person is saying.
Mm-hmm.
If that means there's a couple of seconds of silence, that's okay. Like, it's not going to hurt anybody.
Right, exactly.
Here in the field, wherever, it's not going to hurt anyone. Just simmer for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, and it's not something like, I mean, these are like things that I had to learn from other people that got the experience, because this isn't something that I just, you know, was able to just learn on my own. Like a big person that kind of helped me with that is Paul Roberts. He's another safety manager for us, and I know he's been doing safety for a very long time, and he's been in a whole bunch of situations where he, you know, people don't see eye to eye, and he's bumped heads. And when I got into those situations and I had to learn how to explain things in my point of view, I learned that a big portion of that came from him, because he's been in a lot of the situations that I was in within my first year of doing safety. So I looked as him as a tool, and he was a very good mentor. He was a very good mentor, and I appreciate him for that.
That's how we grow, though, right?
Yeah.
That's how we get better as a group. We take
Exactly.
lessons from others, and
Mm-hmm.
we take them for truth, right? We say, great.
Right.
Like, you learned that lesson. You explained to me why. Now I don't have to spend 10 years making that mistake till I figure it out.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I think Paul Roberts probably been doing safety longer than you've been alive.
I think so.
Pretty close to it. Sorry, Paul. Hopefully he doesn't hold that one against me. Against me too much. Nothing but love. AJ, what do you like to do for fun? As whenever you're not out there conducting safety, like you're a 50-year veteran of it.
I'm big on gaming. I'm very big on gaming. I like to stream whenever I'm gaming, you know, video editing, you know, things like that. So all the free time I can put into that, I do. Other than that, like, try to take care of myself. Try to make it a habit to go to the gym. Starting to learn how to cook. Been doing that a lot, having fun doing that. Yeah, I made some firecracker shrimp last weekend, homemade. So I was like, it's something I get excited whenever I get to do that.
So my very next question, this is a very important one. What are you doing every Wednesday from noon until 3 p.m. for the rest of the year? I'm just playing around. I'm curious to hear, though, if you'd care to share, like, what you said you're into gaming and streaming and stuff like that. Like, it's not really my realm, but I'd love to, like, did you do? Like, I'm familiar with PewDiePie. I think the whole world is. Yeah. Like, is it that kind of stuff? Like, do a little picture-in-picture?
It's so, like, it's more like gaming content, and PewDiePie's done a lot of that too. But I focus more on, you know, just I guess when you're in a game, just, you know, if you're doing good at it, it's a clip. You know what I mean? Like, you get clips, and whenever you're doing good at it, edit those, I'll make like a montage. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, a little Sports Center top 10.
Throw some music in the background or something. You know? Yeah, I like doing that. It's fun to me.
That's awesome. Do you feel free to plug yourself out? Do you have a channel or a handle or whatever you want to throw out there?
Yeah,
this is the first time we've had this happen. I don't know what to do.
Twitch, YouTube, June the Goated. That's his name. So June the Goated.
We'll throw that in the chat as well to make sure everyone can find you out there. No, that's really cool. It's interesting too, because as you were stating that, I couldn't help but think like it sounds like you kind of like want to help people to some degree as well while you're doing that.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? When I'm helping other people, because I'm making their job either easier or helping them benefit in some way. So it's a good feeling.
How'd you get into that? Were you just kind of something you saw and you're like, hey, I think I could do that?
I mean, I guess that aspect of me has just always kind of been there. I didn't know that's how it was going to be when I first joined safety. But
I was talking about the streaming.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That. Okay. Oh, okay. I
See, this is what I'm talking about. I need help in communicating.
I got you.
Yeah.
The
How'd you get into the
streaming
streaming? Yeah.
Man, I was in middle school messing around with computers, uploading videos on YouTube. Like,
No kidding.
I have a second channel that I made like when I was in middle school, and I was like making like a movie with my sister just for fun. Like I was supposed to be hitting her, like pretending to hit her, and I accidentally hit her, and it got like 1,500 views. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I think I want to keep doing this.
Oh my god. All right, well, we got the secret now. I just need to get decked by somebody. I have to find someone real small.
Yeah,
we'll have Laurel on here and let her knock me out. That's funny. I'm sure it was an accident, right? Right, Pops. No, that's wild. It's crazy to think that, yeah, in middle school for you, like that was a platform, that was a thing, and that
yeah,
just like a fish on a hook at that point.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to you mentioned cooking a bit.
Mm-hmm.
What got you into that? Was there like someone that kind of pushed you into doing that?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, he's very big at cooking. We've been to a couple of the RO barbecues a couple times, and if you haven't went, you should go because the food is. I don't think you get better barbecue just like going to a barbecue place. You know what I mean? Like when you're at the RO food truck, man, it's really really good, like top notch barbecue. And yeah, we went one time and helped out making rice, and ever since then I kind of just started cooking for myself, stopped going out to eat as much, you know what I mean? Started cooking for myself, started, seeing stuff on TikTok and YouTube, recipes and things like that look good. I just copy it. Yeah, but it's exciting when I make it. It's cool when I make it.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, you're saving money. You're probably eating healthier. Probably eating better than most places, I'd imagine. That's I'm interested in this because I feel like so many of just last week, Zach. I'm gonna say other C, Coker. Zach Coker. About to give Zach Cooper another shout out. Zach Coker was on here, and he mentioned that he's got the griddle at the house, and going wild, making 7 grilled cheese with ham.
Yeah, that's fun too. Yeah, like the other week too, me and my buddies we had a little barbecue cookout. We got fajitas, ribs, all that stuff, and like just it's real fun doing it. You know what I mean? Especially if you got people around you and you're cooking for multiple people, and just it's something fun to do. So
getting hungry sitting here. I've had lunch.
Yeah.
What's something that people get wrong about you, AJ? Whether it be you showing up to a project for the first time someone from RO meets you, what's something you have to correct a lot?
I think every time, since I've started safety, whenever people first meet me on the job site, like I said, there's that stereotype, like where people think you're just gonna come and shut you down, or think you're coming to like kind of harass them with their safety or whatever, just bug them. But that's not what I'm here for. I think that's something big. I know on the project I'm on right now, 401, we have a superintendent that came from a different company, Jonathan Pugh, and he's a real good guy. I like him a lot. He's taught me a lot. He has a lot of experience in the field. But when we first got out there, I don't think he thought that I was just gonna come and start, taking note of everything and just pointing things out and saying it's not right, it's not right, it's not right. Um, but when I came up to him and I asked him like, hey, do you need anything to help, like any help from me, at all, uh, he didn't really he didn't know what to say because I think that's like the first time a safety manager came up to him and asked him if he needed help with anything, on his side, because that's I guess outside of RO, that's not like a typical thing. And what I see here from a lot of people is that safety managers do help out project teams, and I think that's something key that we have that a lot of other companies don't. But to your question, yeah, that's the biggest thing. When people first see me on the job site, I think they think I'm gonna come and just do something I'm not. I don't know how to explain it, but
Everyone starts like, oh, I guess time for a break here, right? Go grab a smoke. The job site gets real quiet.
Yeah.
People flee or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like not what I'm here for, fellas.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what do you need? What can I do for you?
yeah,
Can
yeah.
I make your job
Yeah.
safer?
The good thing is, like, once they do see that, like, instantly, they're more opening to asking me for help. They're more open to asking me questions, and then those things help you connect with people, and then you just end up meeting people and making friends. You know what I mean? I've made a lot of friends working here in RO, personal friends too, friends that I hang out with outside of work. So yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah, that little bit of empathy goes so far. Um, I think that's somewhat a result, especially in the construction industry. There's just such a history of like, hey, this is how we do it, right? People
Mhm.
show up, not necessarily here, but just in general, or at least the perception is like superintendent rolls in and say, hey, go do that, do this,
Right.
make this happen. So there's kind of this expectation within the whole industry that like as a young project engineer and assistant super or whatever, like, oh, I guess I'm just here to like serve that person. The moment that you can show just that little bit of empathy, like, hey man, how are things going? What can I do to help you?
Right.
People are like, oh, well,
Mhm.
well, this is a
Yeah.
different flavor than what I
Yeah,
expected.
and that's a part of just that's what I learned being in the role, just the approach, because if you have to, you're how you call it, like the first time someone meets you, you know what I mean. You want to make sure that you approach them well, because that's the beginning of whatever you guys are doing together. You guys are going to be working together. That's how they read you. So yeah, you approach someone well, the right way. It's going to benefit both of you guys. So, and that's an important part of it.
So you're a young and very forward thinking individual. At least that's what I'm picking up on from the roughly hour that I've known you.
Okay.
What do you think a job site will look like 50 years from now? Whenever you're clocking out and you're, hey, handing off to your grandkids. Your
Yeah.
kids.
It's crazy because I was actually, so you see all this technology coming into construction and all these things that we're doing, and it's like kind of like
What? Just mute the channel. Yeah, there we go. All good. Sorry about that, folks.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, but
But
thank you. Say sorry. Sorry about that, AJ.
but the way I see so much new stuff being integrated into construction. Things are changing. We're kind of like in an evolution, the way I see it. So, and it's happening faster than you think. Like, just, I mean, I wasn't here that long ago, but I hear just a couple years ago we only had two safety managers in Austin. Now we have a whole department for it. You know, who's to say where we'll be 5 years, 10 years from now? It's really hard to see, but I see technology being all around us. I see you know these people coming up with the great ideas of how we can do things, and you know all these new stuff coming out. You got like Ram Tool Colony getting all these like new harnesses for fall protection and things like that people wouldn't have thought of. It's crazy. 50 years from now, it's really hard to see where we'll be, but I think we'll have a lot safer job sites for sure. The route we're going, and especially here in RO, I see us, being big here. I mean, we're already big in Texas, but our growth is just going up and up and up. You know what I mean? People are wanting to come work with us. We're getting a lot of people, and we got. I mean, I would see myself as a part of the next generation. There's other people that are my age as well that are have the same ambitions and want to learn and want to do great things. So I see us being in a very good spot 50 years from now, I'll be 70. So I hope I'm not still working by then. But
Hey, don't be counting on Social Security. That well's gonna run dry, brother. Make sure you're stashing away in that 401k.
yeah.
You think those job sites will have as many humans on them 50 years as they do today? Or
Yeah,
think
that's
there'll be slightly
honestly, I
fewer?
thought, like, what if we have robots, doing all the work for us? You know what I mean? We wouldn't have to do anything. That'd be cool.
I think your job will get harder.
Yeah.
Like as a safety manager,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's easy to talk to a human, but at least you can understand like how to communicate with a person, right?
Mhm.
Whenever if you were to end up in a situation where, just hypothetically speaking,
Mm.
put on your tinfoil hats, go way off the ledge with me here. If you had some sort of like bipedal robot out there that's hanging drywall,
Yeah.
how do you tell him, hey, there's water on that concrete deck, be safe today?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, it might storm, watch out for lightning, and make sure you go inside if there is. Like,
Yeah. All honesty, if we have robots on the job site, I'll be kind of scared. I'll be kind of scared. Yeah, because you don't know what can happen. So
they're gonna turn against us. They're gonna come back, watch all
Skynet
this.
or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think we've got a couple of years, but I think it will be interesting.
Yeah.
And given I look at things as simple as like just drawings going digital, right, going from paper to
Mhm.
iPads, how many unexpected consequences came out of that? And I think of things like slip sheeting and marking up and all that, where like previously you just used a pen, you marked it up, you would literally slip the sheet in. It's like, all right, well there you go, there's your drawings, you're done.
Yeah.
And then with the digital version, it's like, okay, well now we can do that. How do we make sure everyone else has the same
Right,
thing?
Right. And that's also, we're using on our job site for one, we're using this app. It's called Genda. And what it is, it's all the workers, everybody on job site comes and sign in through their phone. They sign in through their phone. They can report safety incidents on there. Um, the management team can see how many people are on job site from what trade, they can even see what level they're working on because they have sensors on,
Mm.
and it's cool. The idea of it is cool, and I think it works. The hard thing about it is getting everybody to participate in it because we got a lot of people that either don't have phones or don't have good internet, things like that. So, and that kind of relates in the same way, like the transfer from paper drawings to drawings in the iPad. Not everybody always had access to that thing, but now I see nothing but that. Like we have probably about one set of drawings that are paper for every job, but everything else is on on the iPad. So I think with effort, eventually it'll get going, but it takes time. So
There's a lot of industrial inertia
Yeah.
to overcome, just getting people to adjust to new things and kind of normalize those practices.
Mhm.
So I commend you on your efforts to
Yeah.
keep people there and keep them engaged.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a better advocate for some of those tools.
Yeah,
than
'cause,
someone like yourself.
if no one tries it, if we don't try it, then it's not gonna work. The more we try it, the more we can get it to work.
And if you have a great idea and it's not being used, send that into the innovation station today. Can't help myself. I'll plug it now and again, right?
Yeah.
Been a little low on traffic lately. We're going to change that. If you were to buy a one-way ticket out of country, right? You can't cheat and say, I'm going to San Antonio. You got to buy a one-way ticket out of country. Where are you going?
Out of country. Probably Hawaii. Seems like. Oh wait.
Are we going to have a Jonathan Grammer moment here?
That's not out of country, but it's because I haven't really been out of country too much, but that's somewhere where I do want to go. So I consider that out of country, but it's
in
not.
your defense, it is outside
Yeah.
the continental
Yeah,
US.
yeah.
Like,
That's why. Okay, out of country. Let me give a better answer. Okay.
Hawaii is a great answer. And up until 1956, I think you would have been in the clear. Can't remember what year it was exactly, but yeah.
Yeah. Out of country. Okay. Cancun. I think
That's Mexico. Yeah, you're in the
okay.
clear.
That's like kind of the same thing, right? But but it's Mexico.
Oddly enough, I bet you more people have been to Cancun in Texas than have been to Hawaii.
Yeah, probably.
Like a lot more. It was like
Yeah.
$100 to fly down there or something.
Yeah.
Crazy cheap like that.
Yeah. Other than that, because I've never really been out of the country. Like I've been to the border in Mexico, probably like 2 hours out of Mexico, but I've never been further than that. But if there's really realistically, if I were to go out of country, I wouldn't know where I would go because there's so many places where I do want to go. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You'd get one of those what a little check box, multi-city,
Yeah. There you go.
one way.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your top 5?
Top 5. Probably that Cancun. I don't know if I can still count Hawaii, but
Yeah, we'll throw it in there.
Italy, London, and then probably like the Bahamas or something. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
I think the best places to get away is like when you're out the ocean. You know,
There's a spot you could win a Caribbean cruise
oh yeah.
right now. That's two plugs in like 2 minutes. I'm on fire today. Yeah, that is so relaxing being down there. There's something about those, just like those very tranquil blue waters and the sandy beaches.
Yeah.
It's just
That crystal clear water, like just being able to
Yeah.
see through it. I think that's real cool.
Mm.
You know, it'd be a nice place just to relax and chill out for a little while.
man, most definitely. Need to get myself a vacation down there in the near future. Oh, excuse me. What do you think we could all do, AJ, to be better safety advocates? How can we all act every day to be just that 1% better at safety?
Just I think the biggest thing is everybody wants to be safe and everybody cares about it. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't. But we get a lot of the times in myself too, even as a safety, which is kind of crazy, but we get so caught up in anything else that we're doing that a lot of the times it gets just overlooked. Like we miss it. You know what I mean? Like if we're walking the job site, and if I'm walking the job site looking for a certain thing, I might miss something else. You know what I mean? So just being more mindful of surroundings, and when you're walking the job site, just you know, going out for our guys in the field, going up to them and talking to those guys. You know what I mean? And asking them, you know what I mean, what's going on, what work are they doing, thinking about the safety aspect of everything. I think anybody working on the job site should have that kind of mindset because we do risky work. It's high risk work. You know what I mean? And it's dangerous. People could get hurt. But that mindset can really change everything if everybody has that mindset. And it's real easy. It's just think about it. You know what I mean? All you got to do is really just take the time to think about it, and it could change a lot.
I think part of the struggle there too is it's one of those things where if you're good at it, it's easily forgotten.
Yes, yeah.
That's
People get real complacent whenever they're doing tasks, and you see. So like we got guys that are erecting tower cranes, doing like very like I wouldn't be on top of a tower crane trying to build it. You know what I mean? But doing very high risk work, and when you do like something like that every day, you get complacent and you might throw something out of the water and just be like, well, we don't need this or we don't need to do it like that, and you start falling out of routine, and that's when things start to change, and you can have a bad change, you can have a mistake happen, and someone can get hurt. So yeah, that is a big part of it, but that's also why we do like our safety meetings. We do them every week, and a lot of the times they might sound repetitive, but maybe they need to because we don't want people to forget about these things when the work they're doing.
sure. So I was talking. I think I was talking to you the other day, Hagen, and you said something about I think there was a trench collapse or something similar to that up at JFK
Mm-hmm.
airport up in New York and killed 2 people. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like it's so tough because like that's probably something that's totally avoidable.
Yeah. No.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It is. Yeah.
Those guys probably went and didn't. I have no idea who the contractor was or if they're airport employees or whatever. But I wonder how long it had been since they knew of any fatalities personally, like on a job site.
And that's a big thing too. When people actually hear about these things and know what's going on and see the consistency of everything, their minds start to change a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people think, well, this is probably not going to happen. Okay, well, within the past year, this is how many times it has happened. So that might, also change their mentality too about it. But no, yeah, you're correct about that one. That's a big thing too.
I think we as humans are so bad at statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Like we think of 1 in a million. We think, oh, 1 in a million. Like it's not like it happened.
Yeah.
Something has a 1 in a million chance in happening in a day. It's going to happen to 330 people in the United States today.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 1 in a million chance of slipping on a banana peel and killing yourself in a crosswalk. Well, guess what? 330 people died today
Mm-hmm.
of that. And like as a percentage, right? It's a very, very small percent, but it's still, I mean, that's whenever you start looking at, well, how big were their families? How many of their people were impacted by that?
Right.
And the fact that, slipping on a banana peel and killing yourself in a crosswalk is probably not a great example of things that are preventable.
Yeah.
You like, how much pain did that bring into the world that didn't have to
Right.
happen?
Yeah, and that's something that we forget, that we don't think about. So I don't always, like talking about, this could happen, the what if could happen, because I don't want those things to happen. But whenever you're talking to people in the field and you get, some guys that are saying, nah, this is not gonna happen. Okay, well, what if this happens? And again, like, this has happened this many times this year. And if this happens to you, who's gonna provide for your family? Who's gonna do these? Like, you're here to help them. Why take a chance? You know what I mean? You come to work to benefit yourself, not to hurt yourself. So that's the way you have to look at it. And I'm there. I'm here to help you guys. So you just want to do the right thing and keep you guys safe, so you guys can go home to the people you love. And everybody's good. That moment that something bad happens and someone gets hurt, it might be, something small, something might not happen, but just the fact that there's a chance that, someone could get severely hurt to where their life changes, that's not something that I would even want to think about happening to me. You know what I mean? And I try to get that same mindset to the people working out in the field, because it's scary. Like, they don't realize it now, but life-changing events like that, like, we'll sit in like these classes and stuff, and we actually see, like, an electrician, working in a panel, and an arc flash happens, and he has all these 3rd-degree burns on him. You know what I mean? And you'll see like how that's affected his life, his family, and things like that. And I think about that about our guys out in the field. I would never want that to happen to any of our people. So
Can I confide something to you?
Yeah.
There's probably safety people watch this, so I'm sure I'll get an email about it. I don't like hearing safety first. I'll elaborate. I'll elaborate.
Okay.
That's my bosses in the corner there. I'll elaborate. I like to think more safety always, because I feel like whenever you talk to people, sometimes you get that. Whenever they hear safety first enough times, it starts to feel like a checkbox. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I need to do safety, and it's 7:30, so I'm going to do my job hazard analysis or my safety plan or whatever, and then they go to work.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
And
And
they think of it as just something they have to do.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
And I know exactly what you mean by that. And a lot of the times, I do try my best to change people from thinking that way, but a lot of the times, it's hard to. So you have to explain it to them in a certain type of way. But no, you're absolutely correct. I mean, we do these things for a reason, and it's not just because we have to do it. It's because we want everybody to understand. JSAs, or we call PTPs, they're there for a reason. So you can actually sit and think about, okay, this is what I'm doing today. This is all the hazards that are coming with what I'm doing. How am I going to mitigate these hazards? How do I take them away? It's not just there for you just to do it and turn it into the safety guy, and you don't get yelled at, or you don't get in trouble. But it's actually there because we want you guys to think about what the work you're doing, what the hazards are with the work, and you want to make sure that you understand so nothing happens. Make a plan for it. It's important to plan for everything that you're doing.
Absolutely. On a lighter note, we have 5 minutes. I don't understand how these go by so quick. We have 5 minutes left. We sat down 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Favorite movie you've seen this year?
Favorite movie I've seen this year?
In the last 12 months. This year is still kind of new.
Trying to think. Favorite movie.
I need some good input. We got some good restaurants out of Max Kogan while he was on. I need some good
I think
entertainment.
the last movie I saw was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That's the last movie I went to go see in the theaters. That was really good. I like that a lot.
That's the sequel, right, to the first one?
Yes.
The first Black
Yeah.
Panther?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It was a really good one. But yeah, I'm really big into the Marvel movies.
Yeah? What's your favorite, if you
My
had to pick
favorite,
one? Out of all those Marvel movies.
Civil War, Captain America: Civil War.
Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
Why? What's?
Because all the heroes were fighting each other. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. It's
You don't want to see the good guys fighting the bad. You want to see the good guys fight the good guys?
I mean, Gets bored. Gets bored. Change it up, you know?
That's a fair point. I guess because when they're fighting the bad guys, like good guy's probably gonna win,
Right.
But good guy fighting good guy, like
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
There's no bad guy that can
Yeah,
win. It's
exactly.
That's fair.
Mm.
Refrain from some other thoughts that I had on that. I don't want to get anyone in trouble here. You said you like or you're a big fan of the Marvel movies. What kind of drew you into those? Because those have been around since you were a kid, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, even before like when like the first one started coming out, my dad would always talk to me about like the comics. And
Okay, yeah.
he told me like I'm not sure how familiar you are like with the movies or whatever, but like he told me like yeah, in the comics like this guy named Thanos comes out and he gets these Infinity Stones. So I was like, okay, this was like in 2011 when he told me this. Like years before that even came out, and anybody knew who that was. And then when it finally like came on the screen, I was like, I remember like when he told me that like that happened in the comic because I mean, the comics came out like before I was born, so I wouldn't know. But that's very cool that he was able to read those comics, and then tell me kind of what was gonna happen based on it. Then I went to go watch it, and it happened. You know,
Kind of got a little teaser. Like,
yeah.
like, oh, I need to go see this because I know eventually this thing's gonna happen. I gotta see how what's gonna be the conclusion
like
here,
how it's
how's
gonna be on the
work
big
out.
screen. You know, yeah.
Right? Gosh, yeah, I'm not the biggest movie buff out there, but I love those for like just the display of special effects. and
Yeah,
just
no,
the
it's
wild
it's
stuff
real
they
cool.
can
It's
do.
really cool. Yeah.
I went and saw one not too long ago. I can't remember what it was now. I went and saw something. Oh, I saw the Avatar.
Oh
whatever movie
yeah.
In 3D or in IMAX 3D, and that was wild. I was like, what? This feels like I
Yeah.
in the movie here.
Yeah.
Like, I think it might have just been someone in front of me throwing water on me from time to time, but yeah, that was it was just crazy. Like the stuff they can pull off.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, it's real cool.
I can't tell if this is real anymore. I have
Mhm.
no idea. I know those blue people. Like I know that's not real, but they look real.
Yeah.
The water looks real. Like what's going on here? I can't trust anything. I certainly can't trust my eyes. I think we got time for one more question here, AJ. This should be an interesting one given the fact that you're pretty young. What advice would you give to a young AJ, like 10-year-old AJ?
Well, yeah. And the thing is, I am young, and it's crazy because I think about this a lot. Before I started working with RO, straight out of high school, I was working residential, and I was getting paid under the table. I was in construction, but I don't feel like I was learning a lot, so I was very doubtful where I was gonna be in my future. RO kind of opened up, multiple doors of opportunity, and now I know I kind of command my own future. Like working at ROs kind of helped me realize that, and I can kind of do whatever I want if I put the effort in. I didn't always used to have that, so I would just kind of tell myself to not be doubtful and just do whatever you want. Just think about it, do your research, and you'll get to where you want to be. And I am where I want to be right now, so.
You're where you want to be, and I see a very, very bright future ahead of you.
Yeah.
You've got you come at things with a critical eye. You're very analytical, but you're also compassionate, caring, empathetic, and you're clearly connecting with people wherever you go. I didn't know you an hour and a half ago, and I feel like you're over 20. I feel like we go out to the bar and throw back a couple of beers and just have a good time. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing. You're definitely on the right track, and whether it be RO, your dad, people in your life, whomever, definitely give them a pat on the back, say thanks.
Yeah,
'Cause
for sure. Yeah, I would not be here without not just my dad, but everybody that's helped me throughout my journey to be here where I am today. So I appreciate everybody.
One more time, what was that tag where people could find you on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or wherever you're at?
June the Goated. June the Goated.
There we go. We've got that in the chat. Thank you to everyone who jumped on board today. This was a lot of fun. This is the first time we've talked to someone out of the safety department. So I know it's a smaller group, but we're trying to get around to everybody. We'll get around to people services, accounting, IT. You're all fair game. You're all on the list, believe it or not. May not have reached out yet, but we've accounted for all of you. So thank you all very much. Get in there to the Innovation Station. Participate in that Hilti Challenge. You have until May 5th. And Mr. Todd Wynn will be going off to Liechtenstein to present those ideas. And he's going with, he's sitting in the back of the room here, so help me out with Hansel Phelps, DPR, and Swinnerton in RO. So your ideas will be out there in front of one of the largest construction technology companies and amongst the absolute best of GCs in the world. You're just not going to find this kind of opportunity very often. So get in there, get your ideas submitted. You have a month to work on them. Put them in there now. You can work on them. You can refine them. If you have questions, let us know. Hagen and I are happy to help. And we'll be back next week, next Wednesday at 1 o'clock with another special surprise guest. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.